I will never be selling all of my ICP. And why is that? It's because I do believe that history tends to showcase a lot of cases why I shouldn't be doing this. Even though this may seem kind of crazy to some people, this isn't financial advice. And also, I'm not saying that I'm never going to be selling anything, right? I'm just never going to be selling all. Because here's the thing. If we take a look at, for instance, Bitcoin, even back in 2021, when it reached an amazing all-time high, it had a big pullback. But did it ever reach the price of $1,000 ever again? No. You know what I mean? Also, on top of that, you take a look at Ethereum. Had a big pump in 2021, had a big pullback. As of right now, of course, things are looking different. But did Ethereum go down to the price of like $20 or something crazy like that? $100? No, it didn't do that, right? So when it comes to ICP, after this bull run is over, is it going to have a major pullback? I think absolutely. Of course, we've seen it time and time again. But in my opinion, is it going to ever be as low as the levels we see out right now? Hypothetically, I don't think so, which is why, again, I'm never going to be selling all of my ICP. And here's the thing, because I've been acquiring ICP for quite a while now, I'm actually still up when it comes to ICP. Remember when ICP number 1 ago had a big pump and then had a pretty big pullback, some people would say. Even still, despite that, I'm still up. I haven't sold any ICP, and I don't plan to anytime soon because I still think that this bull run is far from over. And again, even after this bull run is over, I'm never going to be selling completely because I still do believe that ICP has a good long-term future. And also on top of that, I think we may never ever see levels this low again in history. But again, only time will tell. This is just a hypothetical scenario after all. But if you take a look at the internet computer, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to disappear because we see many projects out there disappear after a cycle, right? We never really hear from them again. Sure, sometimes people pump it for fun, but it really has no more future if you think about it because they don't have a good use case. They don't have good fundamentals. But when we're talking about a project that's focused on AI, not only that, decentralized AI, I might add, not to mention focused on decentralizing the internet. Also on top of that, the world's most productive blockchain, statistically speaking, as of right now, allegedly. This is something called the internet computer. So when you take a look at that, is this something that's going to be bad? And is it going to be something that's going to disappear off into the abyss? No, it's not. It's going to be run for multiple decades, in my opinion, and maybe even a lot more because I think that something this amazing, I just don't see why it would fail. If you think about it, it just puts a lot of the competitors out there to shame. I mean, really does. People want to compare this to Ethereum. I just think that's not even fair. If you take a look at it, Ethereum has an average cost per instruction that is over 40 million times more expensive, by the way, than the internet computer, which is crazy. Sometimes we think about, less expensive, right? This is more expensive than that, which is kind of crazy, again, to think about. Not to mention, for $1 worth of smart contract data, on Ethereum, you can get only around 44 bytes, which some people may think is pretty impressive. They're like, okay, that's pretty good. But then on the internet computer, you can get over 200 million. I mean, caralho, porra. That's very impressive. At least that's the way to take a look at it. And not to mention, Ethereum, despite the ETF, despite Ethereum 2.0, when it became proof of stake, even despite all that, I'm still not a fan of the gas fees, and scalability is often still a very caca issue. I mean, if you take a look at Ethereum, it has to rely on these like layer 2s to kind of combat all his type of nonsense. But again, the internet computer doesn't need that because it's good from the get-go, if that makes sense. Imagine if layer 2s didn't exist and let's say someone wanted to send, let's say their girlfriend's boyfriend's grandma some ETH to buy a used bratwurst extender lead the Captain Edition, or should I say a used bratwurst extender lead the Captain Edition. Can you imagine the gas fees they're going to have to pay? I mean, it's going to be a complete caca show, right? So, of course, that would be a no bueno, but you take a look at the internet computer, it doesn't suffer from a lot of the nonsense that we see with Ethereum. So that's what I really like about it. Now, does Ethereum have more fans? Yes. Does it have more hype? Of course. Is the ecosystem a lot more dynamic as of right now? Of course. But then it doesn't necessarily mean that the internet computer is going to be bad moving forward, because if you think about it, what was good like 20 years ago is not going to be good, or should I say maybe it might not be good 20 years from right now. It's like, for instance, 20 years ago, was Nokia amazing? Of course, everyone wanted a Nokia, but as of right now, who wants one? You know what I mean? Some people maybe, but then everyone's using like an iPhone basically nowadays. Back then, Blockbuster was the thing. That was the jam right there. That was the amazing, spot to be in, right? For movies, all this type of stuff. But as of right now, Netflix, Blockbuster is off into the abyss. People care about Amazon Prime, right? They care about Netflix. They care about, other stuff. You know what I mean? So they don't really care about that type of nonsense. Again, Netflix back then was considered caca. It's not anymore. So if you think about it, the internet computer, sure, it may not be the greatest as of right now, but talk about 10 years from right now, 20 years from right now, things could be very different. And some people, they're under this misconception that if the internet computer doesn't gain mass adoption within the next couple months, then it's going to be over for it during this bull run. Well, I disagree with that, because in the world of cryptocurrencies, it doesn't really matter that much. Of course, a project needs to have a core focus so people actually know what they're actually believing in. But then when the FOMO, buying pressure, buying volume, and the attention is at its peak, people just don't care. I mean, Luna Classic found a bottom. Klima DAO found a bottom, right? Even something nonsense like Litecoin, which I think is complete caca, by the way, just in my opinion, even that had such a good rally in 2021, and it's still arguably one of the biggest things out there. So if you think about it, it doesn't really matter. At least that's the way I take a look at it. Now, again, it matters to a certain extent, but not really. Like mass scale institutional adoption doesn't really need to happen in the very near future for ICP to, let's say, go to the price of $500 during this bull run, which, by the way, is still my price target, hypothetically, because I don't think it's insane. If it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $237 billion, which is over $300 billion less than Ethereum's all-time high market cap. And we all already know how I feel about that, right? Not to mention that is around a 55x from here. Is it the best hypothetical upside? No, it's going to get defeated by microcaps, let's face it, and even other projects as well. I'm perfectly fine with that, though, because I don't need a 1000x, you know what I mean? Okay, if I got it, that'd be great, but I'm not willing to take that risk. I'm looking for anything above a 10x. That's just the way I view it. Now, again, this is dependent on each person's scenario. I can't speak on anyone's behalf, but that's just what I'm looking for. So when someone says, oh yeah, 55x, that's so bad. Why do you care about that? Well, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not looking for a 1000x. If people want to look for that, it's their choice, but I'm not going to do that, you know? I'm not going to be going all in on a micro cap because it's just a little bit too much risk for my appetite, if that makes sense. I'd much rather choose something like ICP, but still, even despite that, I'm still dollar cost averaging. I'm still accumulating, holding, and just waiting, because when there's over 500 million crypto owners as of right now, according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history, this burn is going to be amazing. Bitcoin, as of right now, all signs are showcasing that it's going to clearly go to the price of $100,000 and maybe even beyond. You know, the CEO of Crypto.com, Chris Marszalek, he had a tweet out, or should I say a post on X, saying how the real party actually starts, if I'm not mistaken, after 100,000 when it comes to Bitcoin. So I still think there's ways to go when it comes to Bitcoin and also altcoins, because imagine as Bitcoin goes to the price of $150,000, let's say, and even beyond, some people, they may get bored, they may take profits and they start flowing that into altcoins. It could be a different story. And not to mention, if let's say the positive sentiment is just a lot, greater, a lot of people may believe in other altcoins as well, right? And just altcoins in general, I should say. But yeah, even besides that point, ICP, I still think that there's still some time. $500 really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I still think that this bull run could be so fantastic. But again, it's just a matter of time. All I got to do is stay patient. I've been waiting for quite a while anyways. I've been waiting since the beginning of 2023. We're almost in 2025. So it's been quite a while now, but I'm not giving up because I believe in ICP. But again, I'm never going to be selling completely because I think it has a great long-term future. But I'm still, not going to say that, oh yeah, I'm not going to sell anything, because that'd be crazy, of course. Sometimes enough is enough. So there needs to be a moment to do that. But again, I'm never selling like 100%, if that makes sense, because I still believe that better days are ahead. And I think that the future could look so bright when it comes to ICP. And again, at the price of $500 during this bull run, that right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.